So now we have the moment for the Capstone presentation, and I'm really delighted to be able to introduce Cathy J. Warden. She is the Chair, CEO and President of Northrop Grumman Corporation. And welcome Cathy to the stage now for the Capstone presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Well, first I'd like to thank Air Chief Marshal Sir Mike Wixton and the Airspace Power Association for the invitation to speak to you this afternoon. It is quite a pleasure to be with such an extraordinary group. Since this conference met 3 years ago, in person last, the world has fundamentally shifted, and today I'd like to share with you some thoughts about what those shifts mean to the defense industrial complex. The pandemic, which is still ongoing, has brought forth a number of challenges, from workforce safety to workforce availability to supply chain issues. But maybe more stark is that countries around the world are also navigating through inflation, recessionary concerns, and social issues. At the same time, we've witnessed significant changes to the geopolitical landscape. Certainly, Russia's invasion of Ukraine has consequences for the stability of this region, in addition to creating a profound humanitarian crisis. This unprovoked military action emphasizes the importance of why we're here today, and of having a strong defense capability to secure our sovereign territories, and the need to deter broader aggression. And I would suggest that the stakes have never been higher. The threats we face are real, they're not abstract, and they're not over the horizon any longer. They are clear, and they're currently present. That's why I'm looking forward to the conversations like the ones that you're having at this conference today. Because I think partnerships that we forge here, whether it be nation to nation, government to industry, are vitally important to help ensure these complex challenges are managed jointly. And I know that today that has been expressed by speakers, and that I'm heartened to know that that's how we operate as we leave this room and go on about our business. The geopolitical shifts like these require us to work as allies and to work more closely together than ever before. And in particular, I'd say it calls for a renewed focus on the nature of challenges we face in every domain, and a reinterpretation of the theory of deterrence for this modern age. What we have done in the past is not what will support us in the future. So a little over a year ago, both the US and the UK administrations announced very significant reviews that were intended to address this very fast evolving geopolitical environment. The British government's integrated review of security, defense, development, and foreign policy was unequivocal on Russia. It called it the most acute threat to the United Kingdom's security. Well, I would say that the review's conclusion that Russia would remain the most direct threat to the UK and to the broader European continent through the end of this decade is absolutely proving correct. Russia's willingness to act with aggression has demanded our united response across allies, combining military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic assets in support of Ukraine and in support of our own collective security. This conflict demonstrates our international ability to respond to threats both strategically and powerful when we work together. And confronting this challenge requires partnership, agility, and speed. It requires all of government, industry, and academia to work across borders in true partnership. And that means we need to change the ways in which we work together. Strategic competition with great powers creates a radically different set of demands. Our current and potential adversaries are investing heavily to erode our collective military advantage. And partnership and operational integration are what will support us in a united way. It's not just a diplomatic opportunity, I would say it's a necessity. And I also would suggest that modern warfare is going to change more in the next 5 years than it has in the past 50. Let me unpack that a little bit. The early part of this century, as we all know, focused largely on counterinsurgency and counterterrorism operations. And as this threat landscape shifts, we have to prioritize innovation. I know you have heard that throughout the entire day. Pushing technology advancement, ensuring that capabilities meet this new threat profile. Let me give you an example. Modern deterrence will be found in integrating multiple domains. No longer is it air, space, sea, cyber. It's all domains working in an integrated way with speed, flexibility, precision. And we need to be able to predict and respond faster. Conflicts will be won based on the commander's ability to identify and react to threats more quickly than their adversary. This makes data, not platforms, the ultimate deterrent. Processing and delivering insights for faster, more precise decisions than our adversary. So the requirement then is for systems of systems to be capable of operating in a contested or maybe even a denied environment and creating an added layer of complexity that demands new sensing and new networking. I would tell you that more than ever before, the advantage will go to military forces who can coordinate and act together across these domains. That means we have to observe, orient, decide, and act faster and with greater effect and more connectivity. So we in industry are committed to helping ensure mission success on that front. And I can assure you that we are expanding the limits of technology through faster cycle times. We're advancing digital modeling and manufacturing techniques that will deliver systems and capabilities you need to counter and defeat evolving threats. But that alone is not sufficient. Responding with our customers to the new age of data-driven warfare, we also need to bring forward advanced, integrated, and secure networked systems. As your partner, industry needs to respond to your demands for faster cycle times, more affordability, and less siloed systems. And that means plugging solutions into networks of networks or systems of systems. And to meet those demands head on, we need to transition our businesses to be digital first. To talk a bit about what that means, our digital transformation is already underway. We're designing systems in digital environments, which reduces risk and it also improves cycle time, but it also allows us to iterate on thousands of designs to pick the best solution before we build a single piece of hardware. We're increasing the speed of delivery through enhanced integration with our supply chain. And we're delivering on time and on budget as a result of using these digital tools. As industry partners, we're also working together to leverage commercial technology. I know that all great ideas and all new technologies will not come from the defense industrial base, nor will they come solely from the commercial environment. But we work across those borders to ensure that we are pulling the best of the best. And we're developing new products and services to outpace the evolving threats. We make the systems adaptable and flexible with open standards-based approach because the reality is we don't know what the threat environment will look like in 10 years, let alone 15, and we need to be able to quickly adapt systems and modernize them. So I firmly believe the best way forward is to follow an open, standards-based approach to software and hardware. Open systems help us meet the challenges of integrating new systems as the threat evolves. And as you've heard today, I know, standalone networks must also integrate to enable command and control of the full battle space. That increased connectivity will allow your armed forces to perform as a joint force. And we all realize that we will be working together across service lines, across national boundaries. Let me share a quick example with you of the US Army's Integrated Air and Missile Defense Battle Command System, or IBCS. Last year, during a flight test of IBCS, we were able to take data from the Army, Air Force, and Marine Corps sensors and weapon systems and fuse them into a single network. This is an integrated air and missile defense application, and during the demonstration, operators connected multiple disparate sensors with the best shooter. The system actually chose the shooter to see, track, and intercept a cruise missile target. This all happened in a highly contested electronic attack environment that jammed some of the radars. And otherwise, had we not had IBCS, would not have been able to see the missile and do the intercept. So this flight test was the proof of the advantages that come when we have a modular open system that can pull from disparate systems. And these were never built or designed to work together, but IBCS enabled the system to do just that. So this is the future, and the future is already here. As we look to the horizon and beyond, earthbound threat environment space also presents a strategic advantage in the ability to deter threats and advance human discovery. And as you all well know, the space domain also represents new threats. As the international community explores standards for space regulation and exploration, some are acting independently to gain their own advantage in the space domain. So as we look forward into the future, technology, investment, and national ambition that used to make distance a factor in space are being compressed. And we need to look to work together, investments by NATO allies and partner nations to develop space capabilities and programs that will be resilient in the future of this threat environment. I would tell you, space to me has always brought a sense of wonder and possibility. And this week, as we proudly released new images from the James Webb Space Telescope, which we built for NASA and the European Space Agency, the new images show light from over 13 billion years ago, things previously unseen by humans. And it reminded me that technologies like James Webb are going to help us to unravel some of the greatest questions humanity still has to answer. It's exploration like this that we need to protect in the space domain, in addition, of course, to the military and intelligence missions that are performed there as well. I think James Webb also reminds us of that big picture. It's important to keep in sight what binds us as humanity. The mission to deter threats, keep our allies safe, and make our world a more sustainable place is a shared mission of the partners in this room. And at its core, our military strength and deterrence is about peace. Peace through diplomacy, information, military, socioeconomic enablers, but about working together to promote stability. As the security environment evolves, so must we. It's the nature of our commitment to this shared mission. And I would tell you, I am proud to stand alongside of you as partners. It requires us to reimagine defense and create the most effective, integrated, and powerful solutions that are known to mankind. The bar continues to be raised. But it's a worthwhile purpose, as we also were reminded of those who are in harm's way today, defending Ukraine, seeking refuge from violence, or perhaps preventing the next act of aggression. So it's a worthwhile purpose, and it's an honor to be amongst people like you who share this vision. And I look forward to continuing crucial conversations like the ones happening here today, because they are what will help us explore this next generation of deterrence in the pursuit of peace. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for inviting me to be with you today.
Thank you so much for giving us outlining the challenges facing the corporation and also militaries around the world, and for that really good big picture perspective at the end there.